I'm telling you what, man, the Mongols are straight up one of the clubs that live up to that diamond. Everybody's heard that there was that shooting down in Texas, and a member of the Mongols was injured pretty bad. The news out right now is he's not cooperating whatsoever. And hell yeah, that's what I think. They're one of the only clubs that, people have asked me about that. Which clubs do I consider, the old school one percenters? It's always been AOA and the Mongols to me. But this kind of stuff proves it. Guys shot up real bad. Mongols stay strong, baby. There's some people that talk about it, and then there's some people that do it, man. That old saying, everybody's an outlaw until doing outlaw shit. Well, here it is right now, true outlaws. So let's take a look at this story, give you a little background here. And I already know people are going crazy right now. What are you saying? You're biased. Hey, man, I give everybody a chance. So I don't want to hear that. Anyway, 9 News West here. Multiple men arrested after suspected retaliation tied to the Midland shooting on Loop 250. So there is a video over on YouTube from this New West or News West 9 on there. So here is the background on it. After Saturday's morning shooting on Loop 250 that left a member of the Mongols injured, deputies responded around 1:30 to a call in Midland involving several other members of the Mongols allegedly beating and stabbing a member of the Bandidos. I guess this was on Interstate 20. Officer, and one thing that when you watch the video, I don't know if they actually mentioned in this article, but cops are now saying that the Mongols are a national security threat. And I was like, oh, come on with the national security threat stuff. But we know that the federal government has been really launching against MCs. Officers with the Permian Basin, Texas Anti-Gang Center. I wonder if that was set up by old Steve Cook. Man, he is such a schluck, man. So if there's a camera, he's running to it. Anyway, 2 men seen in witness photos were observed getting into a Dodge pickup truck with 2 women. The truck left the residence and turned northbound. This is giving you a little background here. Tradewinds Boulevard without signaling. Officers conducted a traffic stop and the vehicle came to stop at the Slams Club. Due to the nature of the investigation and possibility the occupants were armed, everybody was removed from the vehicle. Now, authorities identified 2 men. During a pat-down, one had allegedly had 2 pairs of brass knuckles and a knife. Both men were recognizable from witness photos and were wearing the same clothing. And I guess documents state both also had tattoos affiliated with the Mongols. So I guess you can't get tattoos either, man, without the freaking cops going all over this place. I guess they even signed an affidavit. Down in Texas, they photograph everything, man. Texas is the epicenter of motorcycle club profiling. And if you watch this for any length of time, you're going to know that it's always Texas. Some of them said MFFM, Mongols forever, forever Mongols, Mongols tattooed on a neck, blah, blah, blah. So I guess both of them were arrested and charged with aggravated assault with the deadly weapon and engaging in organized criminal activity. Anytime a club member gets taken down, they're gonna add that organized criminal activity to those charges. Now, it looks like somebody else was arrested around 4:30, and they conducted a traffic stop on a black Harley for speeding. The member consented to the search where authorities allegedly found a pocket knife. This is Texas. You'd carry a freaking AR-15 on you. He did not consent to the search of the motorcycle, but a canine unit alerted to the bikes leading to the search. You know, a good thing about that, line your bags with freaking Cheyenne pepper or the hottest freaking pepper there is to burn the nose hairs on a canine. No additional contraband was found. So basically, the canine alerted to the bike, but there was nothing else found in there. But officers noted Blackman was wearing clothing that matched a suspect. A black face covering was also found in the saddlebag after being read his Miranda rights. He was arrested on aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and, of course, the organized criminal activity. His bond's $750 right now. Then there was another guy arrested following a search of a residence. Investigators said it's believed that he was an active motorcycle gang member. There that is. Anyway, this is the video that is on News West 9, where they actually came back and said that the Bandidos are a national threat. If you remember the Save the Patch thing, which I think is in the 9th Circuit, I don't know if the government actually appealed it to the Supreme Court, but they were going after the Mongols trademark. It was a big thing because if they got the Mongols trademark, they couldn't get everybody else's stuff. And that's one thing people really have to worry about with the clubs is if something like this goes down, is the government going to go not only after the colors, but are they going to go after the property? If you look up in Canada with the Hells Angels, and I know it's two different systems right here, but they went and took all their property away. Now, is that something that the government here in the States is angling to do? I don't know. But it is very possible because there has been some actual civil trials where the club was being blamed for what individual members did. And luckily in a case, I think this was, Pennsylvania, they found the club not responsible, which, hey, is cool. You know, the problem with when you're talking about this kind of stuff, you always get these cheerleaders, oh, screw this club or screw that wannabe club. The problem is they don't look at the case and what could come out of that case affecting other clubs. That was what happened with the other one, because everybody hates them. And everybody was like, hey, man, why you wait a second, man. If you're truly about rights, then you don't want this to happen to anybody. Let's go into this next one. And this is over in Germany. And you can really see the difference in political structure between us here in the United States and other countries. They do not have a lot of freedom around the world, man. Police in Germany's most populous state of North Rhine launched a large-scale crackdown on the Hells Angels. They deployed over 1,200 officers across 28 cities. after authorities banned a local chapter. Maybe they should worry about, I ain't going to get into that politics stuff. Anyway, with me, Canada, Europe, I don't know what's going on with me lately. The Western States Interior Ministry said more than 50 properties were searched, including homes and businesses, premises of members and associates. So you're not immune if you're an associate or a supporter. Remember that, guys. The operation, which the ministry described as one of the largest ever against the biker gang in Western State, followed a ban on the Hells Angels, again, I guess in a different chapter. And here in the States, you have a Bill of Rights. You have a right to associate, so it's real hard for the cops and the government to go after you. Again, they tried to push that limit in the patch case with the Mongols, and they lost. The president of the branch has been arrested after a warrant against him was issued. Raids took place everywhere, man. Cologne, Dortmund, Duisburg, everywhere, man. Several Hells Angels chapters have been banned in the state in recent years. A ban on Hells Angels Concrete City in 2017 was upheld by a higher administrator court. So again, that is what people have to deal with around the world that the United States don't have to. Now, in Florida, they just redefined what a gang was down there. And I believe Big Bone was, he's a COC president. He was on Black Dragon show talking about it. That's why you need to get really involved in knowing the laws and knowing what they're trying to sneak in under you when it comes to motorcycle club rights, motorcyclist rights, all that kind of stuff. I encourage people to join some motorcycle rights organizations, the MRF, ABATE, even though I don't think, ABATE and me going back a long time, man. I don't just think they do enough. The AMA is really active in a lot of different aspects of rights. So you can't just sit back and bitch and moan when your rights are being taken away. And I know it seems like in this country that nothing ever changes. Nothing, these people don't represent us anyway. And I just might as well stay home. Well, if that was the case in 2015, when they went and rounded up everybody in Waco, didn't matter who you were, if you were not involved, $1 million bond, your rights were trampled. And that DA, Reyna, he was despicable. But all the bikers stood together and they voted him out of office. And I think it was like a 15% freaking hit to him. He was an incumbent. And I know Texas Biker Radio led a lot of that effort down there, as well as the COC. But it goes to show you, if you stick together, you can actually beat the system. Everybody hopes for it, but usually nobody actually participates in what needs to be done. So that's why I say, go to a motorcycle rights organization. If you're in a club, make sure they're a part of NCOM, COC, all that good stuff. And at least band together on that type of stuff. I remember when the Mongols were going through that patch stuff, all the clubs were involved. clubs that you would have thought, no way, they're siding with the Mongols, but everybody stood together. And that's what needs to happen. Because when this government comes out and says your organization is a national security threat, you're going to have a lot of eyes on you. You're going to have a lot of propaganda thrown at you. And you have to be able to fight back. That's why I really do not believe that clubs should stay silent. I think they should come on platforms, give their side. That way the general public is aware. You got to remember, a lot of podcasters, a lot of people that cover news, they have more reach than the mainstream media does. With mainstream media, you're looking at an older demographic. And they're really not on the internet. But everybody else's is, and you have a chance to get everything out there. So I would recommend that, man. But going back to the beginning, man, that was some hardcore stuff right there. Not talking, none of that stuff, even though he was shot, which is the right way to do it or supposed to do it. And it's definitely a change from what we cover all the time, where you see people ratting on each other and, you know, it's like, damn, man, that was a brotherhood and they're ratting on. Nah, this was hardcore. And, you know, kudos to the Mongols, man. Good stuff right there. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Don't forget, Insane Throttle Outlaw rock. Spotify, iTunes, YouTube Music, some kick-ass songs. Make sure you get your playlist, man. And if you notice, I've been doing a lot of other videos from comments from everybody in the comment section. I usually pick something up and reply to it. So if you got a good comment, man, I might just cover it. Rock on.
Paid my dues. Now I'm back in the fight.